So this was trending on Twitter last night, and I don't usually weigh in on political discussion on the WAN show, but it made me so mad it could turn my hair red. And that's a joke to do with anyway. So there was a trending hashtag over the last couple of days. Hashtag not my Ariel. Because a dark-skinned actress has been cast to play Ariel in the live-action Little Mermaid movie.
Okay.
And I just couldn't even. I see why that's a joke now.
Yeah,
so, red hair. Basically, white people were mad that Ariel is not white.
I don't get it, really. I don't know why anyone cares.
So the argument's getting made, and this is why I wanted to bring this up. This is the part of the show that's just sort of off topic now. So the argument that was getting made was that it's not true to the original, the original content. And that's kind of where I was going with this. It's a news flash for everyone, racist or otherwise. The Disney movie is rarely, if ever, the original source material.
Yeah. They're usually based on like fairy tales, which came way before then.
Cinderella, a lot older than 1950 or 60, whatever. Sleeping Beauty.
Because there's
hundreds of years.
There's
old.
Interesting ones where the Harry Potter and the what is it, Cursed Child or something?
Yeah, I haven't read that.
Oh,
Don't bother, hey?
Yeah, probably not.
Bummer.
I went to go see the play.
Yeah. Was that any good?
Which was actually, the production was amazing.
Oh.
The playhouse that it was in was fantastic. I think the actors did a very good job, and how they used the production house and the effects and everything were great, etc. But I was actually a little confused when it first started. I didn't recognize Hermione because she's not white.
Right.
I didn't get that. Once someone refers to her as Hermione, I'm like, oh, okay. And then proceeded to not care. Figured out the internet cared a lot. But something that got brought up is apparently J.K. Rowling has said that she was never intended to be white.
Really?
And that she was actually supposed to be African.
Sure.
For whatever reason,
more equatorial, that continent descent. I can't keep up with what the terms are.
I
give up.
And I'm like, and I read that and went, okay, and moved on. Internet, not okay with this. Apparently, in one of the books, it specifies that she is white. So when you told me the Ariel thing, that's why my reaction was like, because now I'm wondering, it's like, maybe in one of the fairy tales, doth it be your face happens to be pearlescent? I don't know. I have no idea. But maybe? I don't know.
Anyway, the long and the short of it is, I'm never clicking on a trending hashtag again.
Because they never matter.
and I'm sorry that I ever did, because Twitter is the ultimate illustration of everything that is wrong with the mainstream internet. Twitter gives everyone a voice, and quite frankly, not everyone deserves one.
The thing that just drives me nuts is that's actually the least important thing I've heard of in so long. It's the skin color of the character who plays Ariel. It's wow.
Can we address the bigger issue here? That the live-action remakes of the old Disney classic cartoons are the most blatant garbage cash grab of our time.
Yes. They are worse than gaming movies. I'm actually going to take that stance.
Really? Defend it.
Okay, have you seen Hitman?
No, actually.
It's actually okay. It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
I get really triggered about the Warcraft movie because the amount of inaccuracies and why the heck is it live action?
Yeah, like the orcs. The orcs were never intended to be green.
They were red. There's some that are. Anyways, the Warcraft movie, it drives me nuts because Blizzard is insanely good at making animated cinematics, and like
Yes.
they always have been.
Yeah.
And then there's a live action movie, and everyone's like, "What?" Because
What were you thinking? Play to your strengths, ladies and gentlemen,
and
please.
they like change part of the story and all this kind of stuff. But if you went in there never knowing anything about Warcraft, it's actually probably pretty decent. Like there's some gaming
I
movies.
think a lot of people are going to take issue with that in the comments, but please go on.
Why?
I just think they will. I haven't seen the movie. You told me not to watch it, so I never watched it.
I wouldn't bother.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. But like I think gaming movies are at the very least getting better. And like Hitman, I thought it was okay for a plane movie. I didn't feel like I wasted my time.
Got it. Okay. So,
and I feel like every live action Disney movie is going to be a waste of time.
So here is, I guess, you know what? I've challenged you to defend that, but I actually don't disagree with you because to me, what I'm glad you brought up was whether it was a waste of time or not.
Yeah.
So that is exactly my issue with the Disney live action remakes. So I only watched part of Beauty and the Beast, not because I wasn't in the room the whole time, but because my attention was super not focused on it because it was very, very boring. So at least...
This is the live action version.
Yeah, at least with most video game movies that I've seen, they at least tried to put a spin on the story and or the characters, or just use the original story and characters of the game as a jumping off point and do something completely different with it.
As long as it's not made by, I don't remember how to say his first name, but Uwe Boll.
Yeah. I can't think of a video game movie that tries to just steal the plot of one of the games, but just make it a movie.
Do you remember the old Final Fantasy movie?
That was, it was nothing like any of the...
not even close.
Any of the games.
But it's good.
In fact, I would have made the argument that just shouldn't have been called Final Fantasy anything, because it was just completely off topic.
I would agree.
Yeah.
But it's good.
But it's still, okay. But going back to the Disney live action movies, it's in some cases it's even the same bloody songs. Like they didn't do anything original. Like, okay, it's reimagined.
Seems like they throw expensive actors at it.
Oh yeah, because they know they're gonna make $1 billion.
And they know the names of the actors will help them make ludicrous amounts of money.
So this is and that's my problem with it, is like I feel like my time is being wasted because I'm being told the exact same story in the exact same way with the exact same songs, and I'm somehow supposed to get over the fact that Hermione Granger is Belle for whatever reason. And French, I guess. And I just can't, I don't get it. And so to me, it just looks like it's entirely a bean counter decision. Yeah. So someone went, okay, we can do a remastering of The Lion King, now on Blu-ray in 3D with some DVD extras and behind the scenes, and we can do a big campaign, we can do a theatrical release, and we can print ourselves $150 million or whatever.
Years later, interviews.
Or we can do this. We can spend twice as much. We can spend $300 million, but we know we're going to get 900 million, $1.5 billion. Like, we know what the return is because we can just take it almost as a straight up formula. We just go, okay, here's the year of the original release. Here's what it grossed. Here's what the overall, because they've got, I'm sure they have figures for all this. Here's what the overall merchandising numbers were like. So here's how many adult humans today with children exist that loved this movie.
Yeah.
And they can just draw a freaking trend line through it and go, okay, yeah.
Cool.
So that one's worth about $1.15 billion if we put the Disney machine to work and pump out all this stuff around it. That's going to cost us about $350 million. So we could either spend, $5 million redoing the same movie, or $10 million or whatever, adding 3D, and get our $150 million, or we could take a bigger risk, but it's not a risk.
No.
And we could generate a much bigger return. Let's work on that instead. So that's why we saw one of these things, and now there's an explosion.
Because they're like, oh yeah, it worked for sure. Let's just do it again.
And I was never that into Beauty and the Beast, so it didn't offend me, even if I didn't particularly enjoy the live action thing. Like, I was just bored because it was like, this is the same movie.
Yeah.
But now, instead of because I love animated movies.
I was going to say, some things are better animated.
Some things are better animated. Some things lend themselves to
Warcraft.
Imagination better when they're animated. How to Train Your Dragon wouldn't be as good a film if it wasn't animated.
No.
Neither would The Incredibles.
No.
And so I wasn't like offended, but I actually just found out apparently they're working on live action Mulan, and that kind of annoyed me. Because we had a big debate in the office today about which is a better Disney film, Mulan or Hercules. Do you want to weigh in on that? Did you ever see either of them?
Ooh. Okay. It's been a wild amount of time since I've seen either, and an exceptionally wild amount of time since I've seen Mulan. But probably Mulan?
I mean, there's no right answer. I mean, no one would agree with you if you said Hercules other than David.
Okay.
Yeah, but like, anyway,
but
the
like
point is,
it's been a very long time.
I only just found out they're doing a live action one of that, and I'm just like, what are you gonna, like, what were you aiming to fix? And if you weren't aiming to fix anything, because it's not even that old of a movie. It's like 1996 or 98 or something. I guess that was a while ago.
It's pretty old. It's pretty old.
Oh.
It's like over 20 years old.
Was I really 10?
It's quite a while ago.
Hold on a second.
Oh, man.
98. Yeah, it's 21 years ago. Darn it.
Darn it.